Doctors call sudden death from cardiac arrest. Now, 55 years later, a San Dimas man is still celebrating life. KCAL 9's Stacey Butler live in San Dimas. She has more on his story. Stacey.
Sandra, Stan Wisniewski told me he thinks about this day, December 17th, every day. That's because 55 years ago today, he died.
There was no heartbeat.
Yeah.
There was nothing.
In the journal JAMA, which was published in February of '57, when they opened my chest, there was no blood. I was dead.
A radiologist tech at a Chicago hospital, Wisniewski was only 24 years old when he had a cardiac arrest. It was December 17th, 1954, long before the development of the aggressive cardiac treatments that are available today. Now, a doctor apparently used a pocket knife to remove 2 ribs as well as his heart, massaged his heart until it started beating again. Well, Stan not only made headlines, he made medical history. Today, he is the longest surviving cardiac arrest survivor in the United States. And we will have so much more on his story coming up on our sister station tonight, CBS 2 at 5. For now, we're live in San Dimas. Stacey Butler, KCAL 9 News.
All right, Stacey, thank you for that. Many great Southern homes have.
One surgeon saved his life with a pocket knife and his bare hands. And what makes that so remarkable, it happened 55 years ago today.
Covering the stories that hit home, this is CBS 2 News Central at 5.
Now at 5:30, he survived what doctors call sudden death from cardiac arrest. Now, 55 years later, a San Dimas man is still celebrating life. Welcome back to CBS 2 at 5. I'm Laura Diaz.
I'm Rick Garcia. Paul Majors is off. Stan Wisniewski is the longest surviving cardiac arrest patient ever. Today marks 55 years since he went into sudden death and came back with quick help. Although primitive, the idea was way ahead of its time. CBS 2 Stacey Butler is live in our newsroom with his story. Hi, Stacey.
Rick, even by today's standards, what Stan Wisniewski survived 55 years ago is considered by many, even today, a miracle. Here's a story.
I dropped over.
Stan Wisniewski shouldn't be alive today to tell his story.
When they opened my chest, there was no blood. I was dead.
55 years ago today, he had a cardiac arrest. He was 24 years old.
If you had to write a script on something that was unbelievable, this most certainly would be it.
The former Marine was a lab tech at a Chicago hospital, a vision of perfect health. Just ask the other lab tech who became his wife.
He had a dark hair, wavy dark hair, big husky neck from playing football, just Mr. Muscle Man.
December 17th, 1954, in the middle of his shift, he collapsed. Wisniewski says Dr. David Brown used a pocket knife to remove 2 ribs and open his chest.
They did 3-minute increments of putting their fingers and their hands inside my chest cavity.
Dr. Brown apparently massaged his heart until it began beating again. The beautiful young lab tech, Jackie, stayed by his side.
We were to ask name, where he lived, how old was he. So every time Stan would wake up, he'd look at me and he'd say hi. And I'd say, hi. I said, by the way, what's your name? Well, after about the 3rd or 4th time, he was getting very
Wisniewski recovered. Jackie became his wife, but in the back of his mind,
I had no conception of ever living this long.
It turns out his young bride had enough faith for the both of them.
I just figured that marriage was for life, and we just accepted what came.
Settled in their San Dimas home, 2 children and 4 grandchildren later.
We just have fun living.
At 79, Stan is again the vision of perfect health. He and Jackie celebrated their 52nd wedding anniversary.
Time to go.
Stan Wisniewski knows he shouldn't be alive to tell his story, but he is, and every day he takes as a gift.
There isn't a time during the day that I don't even think about it for a second. You know, and I say just thanks. Thank God, you know, I'm here.
Me he has survived all of his doctors, and here's a twist for you. Dr. Brown, the one who pulled out the pocket knife and saved his life, died on December 17th. For now, live in the newsroom, I'm Stacey Butler. Laura, back to you.
That is an amazing story. Thank you, Stacey.